afternoon, good evening, wherever we share free on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Obviously, Safi Wabasi and welcome to us over here. I won't subscribe to the channel now. You should subscribe to the channel and turn on notification already. In the day, we've brought you 2 broadcast hours on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. We get the third one in the day, bro. I see, which is an update of all the teams and in the Babe Koso over the weekend games. Babe Koso over the weekend. We'll delve into it for you. First off, and it's Enzo Maresca. I had a pre-match press conference where they come on about the possible injury issues that were on them. In fact, there's good news and there is bad news. I'll tell you why you should be careful with that issue, about Romeo Lavia. Also, Matisenko Foka say, oh, in Kuku, and you're happy at Chelsea, no, you'll be free Chelsea, and the entire here for Sino, and the World Cup and sense I have the real gist for you. They will give you the best analysis team, the best constant analysis over here. Back-to-back updates, a consistent update. I say on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and obviously, Barca coach Hansi Flick also had his pre-match press conference in the lead up to that big one against Atletico Madrid over the weekend. Now, Barca, but also Hansi Flick and won't come on. He has spoken about a lot of the things that he wants to do in preparation to start game. We'll talk about Barca as well. We'll talk about Real Madrid, and of course, the starting first one here. They started the start news for Abrantia, Yefredo Joseph Guardiola. So the betting picks, also the Betway odds here. They told me in the description of the video. Just go to the description of the video, pick it up, and then go and stick something. It's Betway, strictly Betway, and you check over them. In some way, you should go there and then go enjoy something for yourself. But sad news, Pep Guardiola, just this afternoon, I had a pre-match press conference this weekend game at Pep Guardiola Airport, Manchester City Airport this weekend, our English Premier League. I think that Pep and Man City are going to be a season, is going to go from bad to maybe worse. So watch your Man City games this season. In fact, in the last few days, any weeks, like I said, it has been a very, very tough season for Joseph Guardiola and the Man City side, and they've been struggling. And of course, with him, Pepper, I see he wants to get back to winning ways. So try now the boys to start winning games, sending in Manchester City games, teams, winning matches. But the injuries keep on coming. Sisi Amenoka say, Pep, in the build-up to Sir Aston Villa match, I catch in Central for say, Abrantia, your friend Ruben Diaz, injured, and he's going to be out for at least 4 weeks. And Ruben Diaz is out for what a season Joseph Guardiola is having. And like he said, it's the pre-match press conference, a human being, and it's affecting. Tough one away at Villa Park. A very solid Villa team, and they sit in a mid-block, wait for you to open up, and then they play in the transitions and hit you. And Pep Guardiola against them with the senior defender in Abrantia, your friend Ruben Diaz, who is out of sad game, and that's a huge one for team your friend of Manchester City. There is good news on the part of Chelsea Football Club and Enzo Maresca. And a pre-match press conference now. Enzo Maresca say Abrantia, your friend Reece James, back to partial team training. So in the conversation of Reece James and he being back to Chelsea, I hear back one a big deal. A hard Junior Maurice said, Enzo Maresca must say there was a lot of pressure on Reece to get back and start playing. So they decided not to put up a timeline to his return, just to allow him go through the rehabilitation routine, any procedure, so that he will get back. And then in that pre-match press conference against Everton, the lead up to that Everton match, Enzo Maresca did tell journalists that Sir Abrantia friend Reece James is back to the grass and will training partially with a group, doing some tactical ball work. And of course, he did add, say, Reece James is going to be with the team at Everton. But then again, he is back with the team. The bad news and the sad news, however, and he said 2 players are out until New Year. Benoit Belashile and Abrantia, your friend Wesley Fofana. These 2 players are out. I think Chelsea really have to go to the transfer market, especially for more defense, in January. Now, there's 2 things. So, which are the facts that Benoit Belashile and Wesley Fofana, it makes it even more important and more imperative the fact that Chelsea were able to get over the line Joshua Champion. Now, so much Joshua in the last few days, make sure said, Obetimia ball as a CCB or as an RCB, right centre back. Into Chelsea able give us the 2 centre backs, so Benoit and Abrantia friend Wesley Fofana and Pramuni. Chelsea needs somebody to be the aggressive player, to play out from the back, to be the centre back if we show them. Now, one of the things that's important is that when you have somebody who is physical. It's a Joshua Champion. Now you can play Malo Gusto as a right back and then play Joshua Kofi Champion as the right centre back. Then have Levi Cole as the right as the left centre back. Or you can play in Tosin Adrebiayo. So essentially, I mean, can I say the signing of the extension of the contract of Abrante and Joshua Champion gives Chelsea some breathing space and some cover going into January, because obviously Wesley Fofana, he was out for almost a whole season now, or more games, and already 10 years. Then Benoit Bernardino, so almost every season, about 2 to 3 weeks, he has a regular hamstring problem that seems to be deviling him almost every season, and it's not good enough for him. And you see, Joshua Champion signing a contract extension is very important. I think that somewhere in January, like we've mentioned, Thomas Araujo, Abrante and Mark Gay, these are all centre backs at Chelsea. I don't think that Chelsea will be able to get Araujo or even Mark Gay in January. I think that the only time at Chelsea beating star players is only when it gets into Chelsea beating train till the summer before they can get either Mark Gay and I say Abrante, your friend Thomas Araujo, to come and join in and then play for Chelsea centre back. So it's important, said Joshua Kofi Champion, assigning a contract extension for Chelsea Football Club. It looks as you said in a game against Everton, it's going to be Tosin Adrabioyo versus any Abrante, your friend Levi Cole versus Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Of course, in the last game at Chelsea boy against team and friend of Brentford, Abrante friend Tosin Adrabioyo was very good, cool, calm, collected in the leader at the back, breaking lines with ease, building up from the back was very important. But then mind you, said Chelsea had a certain Marco Correa who press and counter press aggressively from the far side, and it makes sure that there isn't too much pressure on the rest defense. Marco Correa isn't going to be there, and now there's a lot of pressure on our branch friend of Tosin Adrabioyo and then Levi Cole as they go away to Goodison Park. We all know that Goodison Park is a very, very tough place for Chelsea to go and play in, especially also with the manager in question, Sean Dyche. How are Chelsea going to set up? This morning, we were talking about the tactical dynamism of our branch and Enzo Maresca as a coach, and how he seems to be setting up the Chelsea team differently depending on the kind of team or into the Chelsea Asia, let's say Everton, or set up differently, like when he met against the team against Brentford, against Crystal Palace. In all of these games, Chelsea seem to be setting up differently based on the opponents that they are going to play against. And on Sunday, I'm expecting the same is going to be happening over there. Of course, Levi Cole, Romeo Lavia, absent. Not Enzo Maresca didn't give too much. He says he's a doubt for the game against Everton. I think that he's going to be in there, but like he said, he's a doubt for the game against Everton. And that means Sabrente from Romeo Lavia may not be there, but he has returned. Enzo Maresca said he wants to watch him for one more training session. Then he can really ascertain. So they are Brantia, your friend Romeo Lavia to go and play in that game against Everton. And I say on Fanembo, he will look at all of those, the nitty-gritties of Sahab decision, when he goes on to go and have that conversation in the lead up to that Everton match. Then he will look at stuff like that. In fact, in the pre-match press conference, he was asked about the players needing playing time. He spoke about Ben Chilwell, any branch of Kani Chukwuemeka. And I think that I agree with him on Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell hasn't played throughout the season, so it's time for him to get some time. But it looks as if Enzo Maresca doesn't fancy a branch of Kani Chukwuemeka, and maybe Kani would have to get some more time elsewhere. And I won't be shocked if in January Kani Chukwuemeka leaves Chelsea, goes out to get some loan and good playing time outside in maybe a foreign league, whether in English Premier League or even foreign in any of the teams. Almost pen on me say AC Milan for the pen, Inter for pen. I doubt Chelsea will sell him outright in January. I think what they'll do is that they'll give him out on loan, then look how things go until the end of the season. He'll come back for preseason. Maresca has him. Then if there's a proper offer from any club, then Abrante friend Kans Chukwuemeka is going to move on to the other club. Of course, for Ben Chilwell, I'm very certain so be free Chelsea in general, and Chelsea will find a way to get Abrante friend Benjamin Chilwell something to go and play in there. It's an important one over there. He went on inside the pre-match press conference. Then come out with the first of all, he was asked about Chelsea players. Any Mengi Omkachen said Chelsea have lost many games at Goodison Park versus Everton. And Enzo Maresca said, okay, no, it's not something I knew. I just realized now. You asked me the same question before Brentford and we won the game. hopefully we can do same, and that's the mentality of Enzo Maresca. So Chelsea seem to have tough times over against Brentford, and going out to that game, a lot of the people were worried, how can Chelsea really go into that game against Brentford? Enzo Maresca took some tactical risks, playing a single pivot of Moise Caicedo, having a diamond, constantly pressing and counter-pressing, leaving gaps or spaces in behind, but then really being effective in the turnovers against teammates at Brentford because of a sharp counter-press up front. I was Stamford Bridge on, but this is going to be a different one. Okase, I was that game, so people still say Chelsea can't go on and win, but he ended up winning so much. So it's going to be a tough one against team and friend Everton, but he hopes so beat me across our match. The thing is that this is going to be away at Goodison Park, and we all know since a Chelsea are away at Goodison Park. In fact, anybody that goes to Goodison Park, it's almost a banana skin game. It's never easy to play against Everton when you go away to Goodison Park, especially under manager your friend Sondage. Sondage is a top manager, top class. And usually you're setting up in a 4-4-2. The thing is that 4-4-2 formation, gives almost everything the numerical superiority now. Like I said several times in football, what manager seeks to do with their structures to get either qualitative superiority, to platform qualitative superiority, or to make sure that they get quantitative superiority. And in teams like Everton, almost that needs a qualitative superiority. That is players who winning ball, winning chain, 1v1 doors to Sunday. But what they do is that they hinge it in area your friend the quantitative superiority, that is numerical superiority or numbers game. That's what they hinge it in, and that's what the 4-4-2 does. Sean Dyche's 4-4-2 system essentially is to have one winger who worked very hard in the game against Arsenal. Constantly, Eleman in their will drop back to come and help the fullback, and of course, Mikalenko was exceptional in terms of moving behind, winning duels with Bukayo Saka. He stopped Bukayo Saka essentially. In fact, Bukayo Saka could not create any chance, one assist in a game, one share any goal in that game against Everton. And it was down to the job of Abrantia, your friend Mikalenko. He was excellent. The 1v1 duels, not aggressive or a very good in between the lines, not a very, very solid in terms of the defensive duties, covering, going back, pushing up and pressing was good. And it was Oliman in the eye who was dropping back to come and help him anytime that he had to do that. Abdullah Doucouré and Abrantia friend Idrissa Gana Gueye in the middle of the park was spot on in terms of what they did without the ball, the pressing, the counter pressing. But I mind you, Neymar Everton for a little dangerous even against Arsenal was the fact that anytime that they had the ball, even deeper in their area, Abdullah Doucouré will move up and be an outlet. Some person will call on either with Abrantia friend Amando Broya who came on second time, and as Abrantia, your friend Dominic Calvin-Lewin, if he gets, or even Beto, if he's on the field of play. So Everton for now are stubborn, they are deadly, and you need to be a little bit careful when you are playing against them. I think that when you look at Arsenal, the fact that they didn't get a lot of movement off the ball to break down Everton for blocking was something that really did hurt them. Now, Makacho said one of the things that make Chelsea house space occupiers not very important is how Enzo Fernandez will do a lot of underlapping and overlapping runs. How on the other side, say Abrantia friend no man we can keep it with now. You have Abrantia, your friend Malagusto doing a lot of underlapping and overlapping runs. If Marco Correa was available, he would do the same. So these runs constantly, I didn't see them from Declan Rice, Mikel Merino, because Obo, even Thomas Partey at right back, who invented into the middle of the park. So these are things I didn't really see when Arsenal played against Everton. But if Chelsea really want to dominate that game against Everton, then it has to be holistic. It has to come with some overload, some runs, underlapping, overlapping, and also constantly the counter press should be aggressive, because immediately you give Everton space, they will go wrong to any of their outlets, and they are big, bulky, physical. Chelsea's most aggressive centre back in Wesley Fofana, like I did mention a while ago, out of the game. So it means that you would want to limit Chelsea to a lot of transitions when they don't, when they're not able to win the ball with a counter press. It's going to be a big deal. Mind you, Chelsea's most important trigger in the press, Abrantia friend Marco Correa, honestly out, a huge worry to Chelsea Football Club. Anyhow they want to play, especially in games. Be say against team, your friend Everton. Yes, of course, an Everton team that has constantly been getting a lot of results against Chelsea. It's going to be a really, really tough one. I mean, the Don Enzo Maresca there, he's able to get these things done with winning matches. Time at Chelsea, he has some winning match. He's able to do the job until they believe. So, with me, I said, in that pre-match press conference, Enzo Maresca spoke about a lot of things. On Benoit Bedashile and Wesley Fofana, both are still out and will be out for a long period. Enzo Maresca, see, I think it's better if they stay with us, talking about Joshua Champon and McGee. I say for those 2 players, 3 players, Tyree George, Joshua Champon, and Abrante for the McGee. Also, for young players, be signing there, you would want to have them on the team. Once they understand that they don't have to be playing every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, he's fine. He will teach them things and will be giving them minutes from time to time. But that doesn't mean so much beyond Bebo. And I think that's how Chelsea were able to convince Joshua Champon to stay. And he said for McGee, he doesn't want to take him on loan. He wants to stay with him. And I think that yesterday, such a Chelsea match now, in the morning, most of the analysis was fixated on McGee's pressing ability and the awareness to find where danger is, find that there is a leakage of blood and then pounce on it. But one of the things again can one say maybe about McGee, the fact that technically I think so we improve it the first touch, the close control, and even the finishing has been good. So our finishing but in a very acute angle was able to get a job done over the NT. McGee is getting better. And Enzo Maresca said he wants to get the boy with him. On an internal cover constant training. And in all of those training, with time he believes our branch friend McGee is going to get better. I mean, a lot of the game is going to improve. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people believe say Enzo Maresca has been an excellent coach over there. I say Max desires to get more minutes and play more. Then we will sit with him and then have a decision together with the young players. That's when Enzo Maresca about what he wants to do when the players he spoke about each of the players or about the players who made me on loan. And he said with each player, it's different situation. So we are going to see if some of them can knock on the door to say they want to leave. But it depends. We try to find a solution. Enzo Maresca said there are players who unfortunately didn't play a lot with us, like Shaw, like Carney, and probably they are the first who want to leave in January because they work and train every day, because they want to play. And that's true. Like I was mentioning earlier on about Carney Chukwuemeka possibly going out on loan. Enzo Maresca said there are players who unfortunately didn't play with us a lot. He went on the unbeaten about Romeo Lavia, and this is what he said. I said Romeo probably will struggle to play on Sunday versus Everton. We will see. It depends, and then we will see it depends on today, and then we will see the rest. See if he gets the all clear. Rhys James will finally start with us for the part of the session today. Slowly, he will be back. It doesn't mean he's going to be with us on Sunday or next Sunday, but just today, the plan for it is part of the plan of the session. He will be with the team, so obey a partial team training and not particularly going to games and says, okay, now he's okay, he's going to play almost every match. That's exactly what's going to happen over there. I say we don't want one of our players to leave. It's a shame because almost every time these guys train very hard, but also they want some more playing time over there in terms of what Enzo Maresca was saying and what he wants to get to his team over there. And of course, in the lead up to some match, the Chelsea are among number of top European clubs interested in Real Valladolid's 18-year-old defender, our friend Juma Ba. Obviously, because of the injuries of Wesley Fofana and it was of course, Benoit Bellachile. Chelsea are looking at new centre back, a friend Juma Ba. Chelsea are to go in and then go and play some good football. After the game, and Joshua Champon was asked some questions. He spoke about Enzo Maresca. Also with Enzo, the small details are really important. He is nice, so I can ask him questions one-on-one, and he gives me a lot of advice. He gives me a lot of confidence. If the manager is backing you, it's up to you to show him why and what you can do on the pitch. And that's exactly what Joshua Champon about signing a contract in the conversation about him. Real Valladolid player near friend Juma Bano is an important player. A lot of the teams in Europe are Chelsea and fighting with them to get the services of Abrantia. Your friend Juma Ba, an important player at Chelsea. Of course, Conor Gallagher has spoken about the time at Chelsea. So Conor say on Chelsea's form this season, I think the way Chelsea have ended last season, they were doing some well, winning some games, and they brought in some more players. The manager seems to be brilliant and performing well, so it doesn't surprise me at all that they are getting what they are getting over there. I mean, in terms of what Chelsea performance this season. Everton manager, our friend is Sondage, and one of the players Eddie Nkomo, and you listen to Sondage on Chelsea on the pre-match press conference. Sondage and Samuel Kanye are very interesting. I say the manager has done a great job this season so far. He's created a team atmosphere which is dynamic, which is working well for them. We know they spent so much money over the years, but you still got to combine it There is no exact shortcut over there, and that's what Sean Dyche can know. A lot of the teams in Europe and even in England will never stop telling Chelsea so they spent a lot of money. But then again, it's really about the performance on the field of play and then getting the job done. That's the most important thing when you play in games like this now. That's the most important thing over here. Say Ubenya result, even though you spent too much money, that's what Chelsea have to be doing over there. And exactly that's what probably has to happen inside game against Everton. Like I did say, social Everton matches they have been very, very solid, and Chelsea knows a banana skin game. Chelsea need to be very, very careful with it. Else, if they slip in, they're in trouble. If Chelsea Timisha against Everton, they go on top of the English Premier League before Liverpool match against Tottenham Hotspur. And then FC Barcelona for a training. And then of course, coach friend Hansi Flick did come in and he spoke. Obviously, there's some good stuff over there. Ibrahim Diarra, Barca for new boy, Mali, a training with them. The last time Atletico de Madrid for a winning streak for almost 1 year. Barca for the zero. Barca for the zero. And if you are looking at the Spanish La Liga, both teams, Madrid, Barca, are struggling for consistency. And yet Atletico de Madrid and then are consistency. Almost share a lot of the games. But they know League now in games like this, especially at the Montjuic, it's Atletico de Madrid. Inside game the last time Barca for end the Atletico for beating run. It was Pablo Gavi, and a yes, Edgeman easy. And more moments win official Hansi Flick. I mean, the pre-match press conference or we see the journalists a happy Christmas. This is going to be the last game in the Spanish La Liga until I think somewhere around the 30th or so over there. Of course, in Spain, they go for Christmas breaks into 25th, 26th, they don't play. I mean, England in the 26th, unbelievable games. Hansi Flick, I see Diego Simeone has done a marvelous job with Atleti. He's a coach who has all of my respect. Talking about how long Diego Simeone has been at FC Atletico de Madrid and how good he has been as a manager. I see yesterday we had our first Christmas dinner with Barca and I saw that we are all a family. I love being here. Hansi Flick again. I see 2 days off for the squad after the Leganes game. Sometimes these decisions are made after games. We needed some rest and to clear our heads. I thought it was the best decision. We had very good training session yesterday and today. So the rest was good. Of course, after Sal loss against Leganes, it will feel something that Barca didn't expect. They need to get a win against Atletico de Madrid. Barca have been very direct in between the lines, trying to isolate some players. Against an Atletico de Madrid side have been on a huge winning streak, more than 10 games consistently. Are only very resolute defensively and even from an attacking point of view. Solo, Antoine Griezmann are all getting some good goals and then getting some good attacking patterns from team your friend Atletico de Madrid. So Barca would have to be very, very, very careful or else they are in trouble. I say we have a very young team and Hansi Flick talking again. He is eager to improve. We have to start the same game, the game well, and let's go score lots of goals towards the end of the game. So we have to be 100% from start to finish. Flick, we will treat tomorrow's match like a final for this year. Of course, it's a final for the year. Yes, if somebody at the start of the season will say we'll be at the top of the La Liga or second the UCL and end of the year, they would have accepted that. So we'll treat it as a final. We have many players who can replace Lamine Yamal. Obviously, Lamine injured and it's not going to be inside game. A branch of friend Ansimani Fati and the medical green light, and it was part of the Barca team at training here. The lead up to Atletico de Madrid match. And I think that we've been able to come through almost every team our game this weekend. Of course, Madrid on Sunday will bring you the updates over them, and we'll talk about other ones as well that are possibly going to come in. We'll have the conversation. Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Someone subscribe to the channel and subscribe. So then, take care. Bye bye.